All right, let's get into it. Hey, shalom, y'all. Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, first and foremost, I want to give all the praises, the glory and the honor to the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, Bashim Kakwadash. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being the true name of His only begotten Son, through the Holy Spirit, the Kakwadash. And just blessed and thankful to be here again, able to do this to do this work. We get into some current events, another addition into the Here Comes the Storm series. We get into some current events. Hey man, it's getting crazy out here, man. It's getting ready to go down. So let's go ahead and get into it. Share the screen. Actually, before we get into that, I want to get this quick preset because this live stream is going to be based around this preset right here. Let's get this classic. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and that thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So this live stream going into is centered around the time of trouble, man, because that's what's looming in the air. Trouble, turmoil, chaos, riots, division, protests, M dates, all that, man. Lockdowns. I mean, the whole nine, man. It's looming in the air. And honestly, like, if you're going to be real with yourself, we can feel something big is coming. Like, all this is just leading to something bigger down the line. We can just feel it's just a matter of time before that big one hit. Now, shout out to my boy Ref as well, because we be talking frequently sometimes about the big one. It's gonna hit on the West Coast, the tsunami that's gonna hit that out there. I ain't talking about that big one, but that shit is coming too. That's coming. That's only a matter of time before that comes too. But the big one in terms of like there's a big event happening sometime soon. Every step just steps in the right direction, steps in the direction towards a big event that's going to just shake the whole world, man. We can see it leading up into that way. We can see certain same things that were happening in 2020 is about to start happening right now. The lockdowns, the increased cases around the wintertime. And 2020 to 2021 was the test run. 2021 going into 2022 looks like it's going to be the real deal, man. It looks like this is going to be the time where they say, you know what, fuck it. We're going to shut everything down. And in order to gain access to the new world, you have to have our devices. You got to have our stipulations. You know, that's what it looks like the time we head into right now. So let's go and get into these articles. You know how we do, we're going to break it down. First one I want to get into is about the first nationwide mandate, man. You know, so Austria is the first nationwide country to mandate the poke, man. And it says what? In order to do that, in order to put that into effect, it says as VOL.5 soars. So what season are we in right now, man? We in winter, man. So we just saw in 2020, you know, as the vid cases soared and went up more and more around November, December, you know, shit started to kind of really ramp up, you know, culminating to its fullness around February. And that's when they shut everything down. You know, we're starting to see that again, man. You know, hey, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes real quick. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. There's no new thing under the sun, man. We see this going in, we see this happening again. They're doing this, they're going by the same program. They're using the same script, you know, winter, you know, well, these are the same script with a little bit of wrinkles added to it, man. With a little bit of a few adjustments. You know, winter, you know, it's getting cold outside. You know, it's flu season. The time when people get sick, they're gonna rise up the cases. You know, hospital beds is going crazy. You can't get people admitted. You got to take care of all these unpoked people. These people who are stubborn and don't want to get poked. They take up the hospital beds. You know, it's the same script, just with a little bit more wrinkles into it. This time, the poke is added into it, man. You know, and that's being used as the barometer of whether someone is quote unquote taking this seriously or not. That's being used as the barometer to see if someone is willing to put their best foot forward to stop it or not. And because they put that into effect, they have now the cause to say, all right, if you don't want to, you know, get down with it, you don't want to get down with the poke, then you must not want our civilization to soar. You must not want us to get back to a normalcy state. Meaning what? So we gotta kick you out of society, man. We gotta ostracize you. You know, and because they can't right as of now, at least they're not going exactly from door to door each step, just and they don't have certain checkpoints set up, you know, at certain spots and things of that nature. They just going because they don't have that into effect yet, which is coming, but they don't have that into effect yet. They're just gonna slap a nationwide mandate. Just slap a nationwide mandate on it. You know, that way you can just get everybody in one sitting. Just slap an unpoked lockdown. That way you can just target everybody who doesn't want to, you know, join themselves with the wicked devices. That's how they're playing this thing. So it's the same script. Because what was it in 2020? It was the mask. In 2020, going into in 20, I'm tripping. It's 2021. Yeah. In 2020, going into 2021, you know, it was the mask. That's what it was. No, I'm tripping. In 2019, going into 2020, and then the year 2020, it was the mask. That's how they played it. It was the mask that year. 2019 going into 2020, it was the mask. And then all of 2020 until they came out with the poke, it was the mask. You couldn't get nowhere without the mask. Now in 2021 going into 2022, it's the poke. You can't get nowhere without having the poke. We're gonna shut everything down if you don't want to wear a mask. We're not gonna let you get in if you don't want to wear a mask. Right now, we're gonna shut everything down. We're not gonna let you get in unless you want to get the poke. It's the same script. It's just different wrinkles added onto it. That's all it is. There's no new thing under the sun. The scriptures are always gonna reign supreme, baby. You know. But let's go ahead and get into the article. But before we get into that, like I said, we see how they kind of forming this around that winter time, using the colder months of the year, especially in Europe. It gets real cold out there. Using the colder months of the year as a gateway, as a door to bringing their propaganda and bringing their propaganda, and then bringing their measures, their wicked draconian measures and new world order protocols, man. Using what's given to them to implement what they want to implement. It's going to get cold anyway. So it's like they like that. Okay, it's notice they didn't do this in the summertime. They didn't do this in the spring. Why is that? Because it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Surrounding it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have enough wiggle room per se. But now it's got the wiggle room with the wintertime. Like, you know what? Let's slap this in here now. Let's fake some rising cases. Let's bring in propaganda about how the Delta is soaring and things of that nature. The vid is soaring like crazy. Let's bring in propaganda and lies about that. They're giving us plausible deniability or probable cause to bring these lockdowns, man, and bring these nationwide mandates, and then grouping everyone in together. That upsets the people who are actually poked, because the people that are poked are saying, "You're the one that's causing me to lose my freedom. You're the one that's causing me to lose my rights, or so-called. You're the one that's causing me to have to get down with all this bullshit, man." Now you're bringing in division amongst the people. And then when you got the masses of people supporting the agendas because they just want to get back to some quote-unquote normalcy, now they already gonna bring into effect, and you got the support of the masses. So that really ostracizes the unpoked, and that's the plan. But let's go ahead and get into the article though. Before we do that, though, I want to say shalom to the Ak, Messiah. Shalom, bro. Let's go ahead and get into it. It says, I already read the title, but I'll read it again. It says, Austria announces Europe's first nationwide poke mandate, and it reimposes lockdown on the unpoked. That's what they mean as VOL.5 source. It says Austria is going back to a national lockdown and plans to become the first country in Europe to make VOL.5 pokes mandatory for all eligible people as the nation's CV crisis deepens. Chancellor Alexander Schallenberg announced Friday. Schallenberg said his government will look to impose the national poke requirement from February 1st. So that's a date to look out for, February 1st. Look out for that date. In the year 2022, the year 666. And you know what's crazy? The year 2022, year 666, just under 66% of Austria's total population is fully poked, man. So just under 66%. What's that? That's 2/3, man. Let's go to Zechariah, the 13th chapter. But this is spiritual, man. You can't run away from prophecy. You can't run away from the scriptures. And yeah, I know that these people, and the majority of people in Austria aren't jakes. I know that. But I'm just saying, it's like the signs are there to show that for us who got eyes to see that this is going to be the separating ground, man. This poke is going to be the separating ground between who's going to, submit themselves to the beast system, to the goat, versus who's not. It's going to be this poke. Now I'm not saying that that's the MOB. I'm not saying it's the charagma. It's not, but it's leading up to it. It's the gateway to it. It's the segue to it. It's a segue of your mind to it. So in your mindset, if your mindset is not on point to remove yourself from the affairs of this life, you're setting yourself up to take the charagma. That's what the poke is doing, man. But let's go to Zechariah, the 13th chapter. This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall cut off and die. What's that? That's 66%, man. That's 66%. So why are they throwing that out there? Just showing you, if you got eyes to see, like I said, this is going to be the separating ground, man. This is going to be where the division starts. This is the start of the mass division between submitting yourself to the goat and submitting yourself to the Most High. You can't go either way. And taking that poke is a sign that you've chosen your side. If you take that poke, now I'm not saying you took the MOB. I ain't saying that. But if you take that poke, mentally you've submitted yourself to whatever they have down the line to cure your fear of mind. Which means what? You serve the goat, not the Most High. You fear the goat more than you do the Most High. You fear the beast system. You fear the devil of this world more than you fear the Most High. You've chosen your side. You've chosen fear over faith. It's one or the other. It's no in between. It's fear or it's faith. It's poke or it's not. It was not taking a poke. And we see through that, all the signs, 66%, 2/3. This is the separating factor, man. It's not about just the poke. It's about your decision making. What will you side with? That's what it's about. We're going into verse 8 again. And it shall come to pass that in the land, that all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third part shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and we will find them as silver is refined, and we'll try them as gold is tried. So that 33%, the ones who are not going to get poked, the ones who are not going to submit themselves to the beast system, that's going to come with heavy trials and tribulations, man. You're going to have a whole lockdown centered against you. You're not going to be able to do none of the things that you want to do. You're going to fully be ostracized from society, family, and friends. You're going to have whole laws set into place against allowing you to engage in certain activities in this society. Eventually that's going to come with your social credit score being lower, you not being able to tap into certain monetary systems that are going to be the standard in society once the economic system collapses. Once they mandate it at these stores and whatnot, once they because they made it nationwide in Austria starting February 1st, man. So eventually that's going to come. I don't know when it's going to come to Babylon, but eventually it's going to come to Babylon, and we're going to touch on that a little bit later on. So all they're centering societal parameters and laws that are focused on separating the unpoked from the poked. So if you on that unpoked, that 33%, you're going to be tried, man. We're going to be tried. Lord will of that number. We're going to be tried like crazy. We're going to have to go through it all, man. But there's a great reward to come from that. But, we already know that. I'm not going to touch on that too deeply in this live stream. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. Now, like I said, I know that Austria is mostly Edomites. You know what I'm saying? I know that's not a Jake-centric country. I'm just using this as a background to show that we see the signs. I mean, it's no coincidence. 2/3, 66%, then that 33%, that 1/3. It's no coincidence, man. It is what it is. But let's get into it. Let's get back into it. one of the lower rates in the European Union where cases are surging. The national lockdown, the first in Europe this fall, starts Monday, which is today. That's going into today, and will last for 10 days minimum, and could be extended for a further 10 days. So we got to think about it right here. If things are only getting worse and things are only spiking up, cases are only spiking more and more, cases are only surging more and more and more, you know, why are they putting in this lockdown, man? Why are they imposing lockdown for the unpoked? It's all to get you poked, man. It's not for no public health and safety. It's not for no keeping the masses of people okay. It's not for no make sure that everyone stays safe and doesn't die. It's all about just getting people to take the poke, because they've already structured the programming and the propaganda in a way where the poke is now universally seen as the end all be all solution. Nothing else. You know? So let's just say for 10 days, cases just rise more and more, but also poke rates don't rise more and more. That lockdown is just gonna continue. It's just gonna get a further and further lockdown. One day soon, they're gonna lock all this shit down, man. And it ain't opening back up if you're not poked. Basically, this is the start of the prolonged lockdown for the poked, for the unpoked. That's what this is the start of. Now, I don't know when this is gonna come to Babylon. Right now, it's going in Austria and Germany and certain places, Australia. But it will come to Babylon though, and when it comes to Babylon, it's gonna be that much more impactful. But continuing on, it says Schallenberg told reporters at the news conference in Vienna, "We don't want a fifth wave. We don't want a sixth and seventh wave. We don't want to have this discussion next summer." Schallenberg said, "Well, that's the thing. They do want a fifth and sixth and seventh. They want this to continue. They've already came out and this is bullshit, man. You should already know this is bullshit. They already came out and said ad nauseum, Fauci, Biden, all these head political leaders, man. They already come out and said, this is a forever thing. This is never going away. So yeah, there's gonna be 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th waves, man. However long this lasts. But what do they have to counteract those waves? That's the question. Is what do they have in place to counteract it? And that's the poke, that's the boosters, and that's eventually going to be the charagma. Because each wave is going to get worse. Each wave, the propaganda is going to get worse. Each wave, they're going to structure the propaganda in a way where, this poke is no longer working. This poke is no longer effective. People no longer have immunity from this poke. Which let's go ahead and get this article right here, because that proves that. I think it's this one right here. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, this is the senior advisor. I think this is no, that's the other one. Okay, cool. So this is going into the rise in cases in America. So it says the reason for that is waning immunity. What is waning immunity? Basically, that's a fancy way of saying the poke that you took is no longer working. That's what that is. So when they bring in this 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th wave, however long they want this to last, each time your poke that you just got is no longer going to be good enough. Which means what? You need to get the booster. And also which means what? That new booster that they come out with is going to be that's basically the status, and that's basically going to be the marker for being fully poked and being fully safe. That's what they bring into effect, man. So like I said, going back to this first article, it's not about them not wanting a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th wave, because more waves is how they're gonna get more people to take their boosters and to be in such a state of fear where they go and take the charagma. What That's one of the ways, because of course we know the charagma is tied to many different things, not just the quote unquote health and safety or pandemic aspect of society. We know it's tied into the economic system and your social credit score and having access to buy or sell things that we know that too. But they also are tying the quote unquote health aspect of society into that as well. Putting people in such a state of fear where they think that, damn, this is only getting worse and worse and worse. I need to have something in my body that tells me that whether I'm gonna get sick or not. Because it's only getting worse. More people are dying. And you know what? People are gonna be dying from them boosters and them pokes. But they're gonna say it's from different variants of the vid, man. So you got to read between the lines with this shit. Let's continue. It says the move comes only days after Austria took the step unprecedented in Europe of imposing lockdown measures for all those aged 12 and older who are not fully poked against the vid. Under those measures, which came into force on November 15th, the unpoked were ordered to stay at home except for a few limited reasons, with the rules policed by officers carrying out spot checks on those who were out and about. So they carrying out spot checks, man. And you know what? The poked population is getting tired of seeing this shit. The poked population is getting tired of getting checked and monitored and whatnot. They monitor like, damn, why won't y'all niggas just go get the poke? So this can be over, man. So they're doing it's like a double whammy. They're trying to get rise up the anger in the people who are poked, and also ostracize and push out of society the people who are not going to be poked, man. Operating on them two horns, man. Using two different measures to come to a general solution. Let's go to Revelation 13. Because this whole system is set off of that order out of chaos, good horn, bad horn, to create a general solution, theme, man. This is the Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. So them two horns like a lamb, what you got? The unpoked and the poked. The Democratic Party, the Republican Party, the true God of the world, and the pagan gods. You got the right wing and the left wing. The things of that nature, man. The ostracizers from society and the upsetting people for who are with it, and getting them upset that way. You got it's all operating from that duality theme, man. To bring in what a centralized solution. That's why I said he spoke as a dragon. Because what is a dragon? A deceiver, a liar, a manipulator, man. So they're manipulating the two horns to come to a generalized theme, man. I mean, the general solution. Order out of chaos. Bring the order, bring the solution. Bring the order, bring the chaos, or bring the chaos, which brings the order on the other side, which brings the solution. That's what it's all about. So this is a first step in that direction. So you don't think more countries are going to follow? You don't think it's just going to be Austria, man? It's going to be Austria. It's going to be all the EU, man. All the EU is going to get down with it, man. Let's go to Revelation, the 17th chapter. It says, this is Revelation 17 and 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are the 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings when I was with the beast. These have one mind, and they shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So just going in from a world perspective, from a societal perspective, them 10 horns is going into the EU, man. So they have like mind with the beast. The beast is Babylon. Like I said, this is just focused on a societal perspective, not a paganistic aspect. The beast, from a societal perspective, is talking about Babylon, the modern day Roman Empire. But it says the 10 horns, which is the EU, have the like mind with the beast. So It's not just going to be one country in the EU. It's going to be all, because the EU is now like 28 countries, man. It started out as 10. It's like 28, 30 countries now, man. So it says they all have one mind. Revelation 17 and 12, they all have one mind, meaning what? What happens in one is going to happen in the next. It's going to happen in the next and the next. But it also says they have one mind with the beast, meaning what? It's going to happen in Babylon too. It's going to happen in America too. So don't think this is happening here. They're gonna sort this out, and then we're gonna go back to normal. No. It don't work that way. Prophecy only boils over more and more and more until it stops with Yahweh Shah coming back. Well, not stops, but it's put to a halt, and the destruction with Yahweh Shah coming back. It's only going to boil over more and more and more until that time period comes. You know? Only going to boil over more and more and more until that time period comes. So this is just the beginning in the nationwide mandates and the lockdowns of the unpoked. It's going to come to Babylon too. It says they have these have one mind. So what's going on over there? What happened here? It says, going back into the article, it says, under those measures, which came into the force on November 15th, the unpoked were ordered to stay at home. Oh, I already read that part. But yeah, just complete ostracization and lockdowns of the unpoked, man, which goes into what? Showing you that this was never about keeping people safe. That's just the mask. That's just the mask over it. It's all about just getting people to take their devices, man. It's all about just getting people to submit themselves to what they deem to be the solution for you, which is why they're telling you, as things get worse and worse and worse, you need to take more and more and more doses of the poke. In order to be fully protected, you got to be fully poked, and that fully poked definition is changing. As I've done other live streams going into that though, but it says pokes are currently recommended for everyone aged 12 and above in Austria. On Monday, a pilot scheme to poke children aged 5 to 11 got underway in Vienna, the national capital. I'm going to go down to this right here. Yeah, so it shows it's showing the rising cases. So we saw January, March, April, May, July, September. So we just, as it's getting colder and colder and colder, we seeing they're claiming that it's getting worse and worse and worse. And we see right here where it says October and December of last year, how it reached its peak around about 7 to 8K, and we see now it's about 12K. So basically they're trying to say it's damn near double, man. Why are they saying that? Why are they making the claims that shit is damn near double? Do you go outside and see double the people sick? I mean, come on, man. Like, let's just use common sense. Do you go outside and see people falling out sick everywhere, man? Coughing up a storm everywhere? No, bro. You just see people living their life, man. Now I know this is going into Austria, but still, man, it's the same propaganda. Because they're saying the same thing is happening here. Do you see people out there sick and whatnot? Or do you see people is out living their life, man? I see people just living their life, But let's get this precept real quick. This is the book of Psalm, the 58th chapter, the 3rd verse. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. All they do is speak and spew lies, man. The wicked, which is Esau, Edom, the ruling power of society, the ruling powers in Europe and in Babylon and the whole world, man. What do? They speak lies. They speak lies to come to get people to formulate their mind and believe in the general solution and believe and shape the mindset of the people to be their mindset. Not, I mean, when I say that, I mean your own mind. I mean the mindset they have slated for you. A lot of people don't even think on their own, man. They think according to how the TV, the social media, the news has programmed them to think. So when they say cases are rising and you need to get all these different variants are coming out, and we've come up with a solution for that. In their mind, they saying, "Damn, this is the way I should go," because that's what they're telling me. Because the whole time they haven't patterned a way to think opposite of this system. They've been thinking the same way as this system their whole life. So if this system is about lies, and the man that's empowering this system spews lies, what is your mindset? A lie. Meaning what? What is your life? A lie. What are your daily actions? A lie. There's no truth involved in it, man. Meaning what? It's not true to self. You know, your actions are the same actions that they want for you. So when they tell you things are getting worse and cases are spiking and you need to get this and this got to counteract that, you're gonna go do it. You're gonna go do it. That's why it's so important to leave the lust of this world, man, spiritually, to flee out of the shadow of Babylon, man. To recognize who your enemy is, man. So that's why it's so important. That's why the scripture is saying, Sirach, the 12th chapter, to never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. Because they're going to have you living a life of lies. You know? They're going to have you living a life that's not even, you don't even, like, in your mindset, you're not even doing things that you say in your mindset, I'm doing this because I want to do it. But no, you're doing it because they told you to do it. You think in your mind that you're doing it because it's going to keep you safe. No, you're only doing it because they told you it's going to keep you safe. Because when you use just general common sense, you know, do you really see people out here just dropping dead like that? Do you really see people out here just sick up a storm like that? Is it really any different from, now I'm not saying this is not a real thing, but is it really any different from past winters where people just get sick in general and people die in general from sicknesses and diseases? Is it really any different? You know? So when they tell you these things, you gotta look at things logically, man. You gotta analyze. You gotta turn the shit off. Turn the CNN off. Turn the MSNBC off. Get off fucking Twitter. And actually just look at things for yourself. Read articles. Do some actual research. Do some studying on your own. Watch these videos. Read the scriptures. Know who your enemy is. Know what time you're living in. That way you can make the right decisions. Because eventually they're going to tell you that, oh, this particular rice grain thing, this rice grain particle we can put in your right hand is going to be able to, formulate or tap into your bloodstream. Really let you know if you get into, you can program it to your phone, let you know if you're getting a fever, if you're getting sick, or if you got any kind of chance of catching the vid or whatever variant they got at that particular period of time within the next couple of days, or if you're around someone that's sick, it's going to be the program and monitor your steps and all that type of shit, man. And you could be thinking, man, this is a great solution, man. This is a great thing. That's why the scriptures say he deceived them by signs and wonders. Let's get that, man. It's Revelation chapter 13 and verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth and the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So they're deceiving people by these signs and wonders, man, by these so-called medical miracles, man. They're going to package the charagma as a medical miracle. All this new cutting edge. I mean, we already did, unfortunately, that live stream got taken down off of my channel. The two ones I did, which shows you that was pure truth. That was pure facts. I might re-upload that on my backup channel. In fact, I probably will do that because that's just cold hard facts. No denying it. Truth. Because it was basically a live stream centered around the 60 minutes segment they had on the Charagma and tying it into the vid. And tying it also into your poke as well. But that's gonna be packaged as a medical miracle. And if you're overly amazed by it because you're so wrapped up in the propaganda of this society, man, you're gonna lose your soul because of it, man. Don't the scriptures say we wrestle with flesh and blood? I mean, wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. Part of that spiritual wickedness in high places is masking death as a medical miracle. That's part of the spiritual wickedness in high places. So let's go continue. In fact, I think that's all I'm gonna get on this article right here. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna get. So we got the first nationwide poke mandate coming into effect on February the 1st. That's the date to look for. And you know what's crazy? February is the second month of the year. 2022. Oh man, which is 666, man. Hey, it's all spiritual. So what does that lead into, though? That's the thing. Get to the next part of it. What is that going to lead into in the present time? Now we know at the end of the day, we know what the end all be all is, but there is still division going on in present time. Don't think people just gonna lay down for this shit. Don't think people just ain't gonna go out fighting for their quote unquote rights, especially when that shit come to Babylon. And these Edomite conservatives see that there's no quote unquote that the whole quote unquote freedom was just an illusion the whole time. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras. Bring this one out all the time. This is the book of Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, and the 16th verse. Actually, the 15th verse. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up against another, and swords in their hands. So let's go to let's go to this one right here. It says, angry and divided, Austrians argue over a lockdown and poke mandates. Like I said in Revelation, we go to Revelation the 17th chapter, just to get on that before we get into this article. It says, and the 10 horns, which is going into the EU, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are the 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings went out with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So those 10 horns going into the EU, are like mind with the beast. So now the EU, like I said, is more than 10 countries now. So if everything, they all have like mind, you know what I'm saying? So they understand and they know that by them imposing certain things, they know what the reaction of the people is going to be. They know the reaction of the people is going to be uproars, riots, protests, all hell breaking loose. They understand that's going to be the reaction of the people, or some people who don't want to get down with it. So it says they have like mind with the beast, be in Babylon. So meaning what? If that's happening there, it's going to come into Babylon too. Mass riots, mass protests, all hell breaking loose, burning down buildings. That's going to come. Which proves what? 2 Esdras 15 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. What is that one people against another? Like I said earlier, using the theme of twos, man. The theme of duality. The right hand and the bad hand, man. The progressive, the conservative. The ones who want to get down with the program and the ones who don't. So that one against another is going to be the ones who want to get down with the program, the pro pokers, You know, people who are basically aligned with the beast system already, and the ones who are anti that and who are not aligned with the beast system already. That's going to be that one against another with swords in their hands. Meaning what? The modern day gun, man. Or the modern day sword being the gun, and everything, any other weapon as well. You know what I'm saying? Showing that from that theme of duality, from that bringing that order out of chaos theme, you know, there has to be mass chaos in order to bring the solution. Because everything's got to be broken down so far. So much. Everything's got to be stripped down to nothing in order for the solution to actually hold weight. Because as long as there's still an operating society, there's no need for people to think, okay, I need to get it. I need to get down with this new current solution, this new world order solution. So they got to break everything. They got to tear down society so much to the point where people feel like they need, you know, a provision and protection from the powers that be. And when you have the power, you can institute anything you want to institute to get people to go along with what you want them to do. Which means what? If you want something from me, you got to give me something. If you want something from me, you got to give me your body, man. You know, you got to give me your flesh. I want your arm, man. I want your right hand. Going into the poke and then the charagma. You know? And that's not just going into the health aspect, but also the financial sector as well. But that's a whole nother video. But getting back in 2 Esdras 15. 2 Esdras 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they shall not regard their kings nor princes, man. Meaning what? The ruling powers, you know, the elites. People not gonna be giving a fuck no more, man. They gonna say the hell with you, man. They gonna say you betrayed us, especially these conservatives in America. Because these America the great people, America's God's country people. Trump is gonna run in 2024 and we're gonna get America back. All them people, man, they gonna say, you know what? To hell with you, man. You betrayed me. You turned your back on me. You was fooling me all along. And when people feel like and that's going to give people the mindset of, I have nothing else to live for. Because everything they live for is validated by this society. It's validated by this current structure. If the things in this structure that give people a feel, that give people a want to keep going, that give people feel good about themselves, if all that shit goes to the wayside and they mindset, they don't got nothing to live for no more. So what? They going out guns blazing, man. If they die, fuck it. If they die in the process, fuck it, man. That's what people's mindset is gonna be, especially these Edomite conservatives. You know, you're gonna have part of them that's gonna want to fight for their country. You're gonna have part of them that's gonna say, to hell with this shit, man. We going out guns blazing, especially these quote unquote Christians who understand the end times, who have some understanding of the end times. You know? But it says, angry and divided, Austrians argue over a lockdown and poke mandates as a new wave of VID infection spread over Europe. Resistance to public health measures is growing, and not just in Austria. So this is all throughout Europe, man, proving that, you know, they got the same mindset, man. It's not just Austria. It's that whole EU system, man. They have one mind. Meaning what? They pattern their actions after the next. You know, their societal parameters are all in lockstep. One may happen before the next, but if it happens to one, it's going to be the standard for everywhere. It says Daniel Zeman wasn't able to sell any of his handmade Apple. I don't give a fuck. I want to get down to the point that I wanted. Okay, here we go. It says Europe is experiencing a menacing fourth wave of the sea and soaring rates of infection. While Austria may be the first European country to respond with a nationwide lockdown, it may not be the last. That prospect, along with increasing stringent poke mandates, is setting off a backlash here and elsewhere, with mass demonstrations in Vienna, Brussels, and in Dutch city of Rotterdam. over the weekend, sometimes punctuated with violent outbreaks. Violent outbreaks, man. When people start to see that they're losing hope, and that because the mass of people starting to understand that it's becoming more and more obvious. There's nothing you can do about this. There's not all the legislation is in support of this, whether it's more quote unquote conservative or more quote unquote liberal. They're all down with the same program. The conservative side may not want to bring it into effect so quickly. They may want to they may want to give people the illusion of the right to choose, but they're still down with the poke being the solution, though. So people are realizing, you know what? I may not have no choice with this, man. People are realizing, you know what? This is what it's gonna be. There's no backing out of it, man. This is it. This is coming into effect. There's nothing we can do about it. So they're getting upset, they're getting mad, and they riding, man. They're saying the hell with this place. That's when you're gonna see the violence, man. The scriptures say in Matthew the 24th chapter, this is one of the end time signs, man. I'll go to the book of Matthew. It's Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Now let's get the definition of that word iniquity. Let's go to the online etymology, because I want to get exactly what it says. So we understand that we know, what I'm saying? We understand that we know that it, we understand that we know that iniquity is going to general evil and maliciousness. We understand that, but I want to get exactly what it says. It says iniquity, hostility, hostile actions, wickedness, unfairness, injustice. Because injustice, unfairness, unevenness, unequalness, because all that's coming into effect. The love of many is waxing cold, man. What is these mandates? What is these lockdowns? Injustice, unfairness, unequalness, hostile actions from both sides. That's causing the love of many to wax colder and colder, man. People getting upset. And as more iniquity abounds, as it becomes more obvious that the injustice and the unfairness and the unevenness, the unequalness is the new standard, that illusion of democracy, that illusion of freedom is done, man. That illusion of free choice is out of the window, man. Injustice and unequalness is the new standard. With that being a new standard, people are realizing, you know what? There's no solution to this. This is the parameter they have set into effect. This is the new way. And when you take that hope from people, that can cause mass rebellion. Because hope stabilizes people, man. Hope humanizes people. With the art of hope, anything is possible. Or with the thought of hope, anything is possible. Look at this truth with us, man. We have hope in the kingdom. We have hope in better days to come. It gives us a peace of mind while the world is in chaos, man. It gives us a peace of mind. So we're not gonna go in these riots, man. We're not gonna be protesting. We ain't gonna be protesting. We want this shit to happen even more, man. Because our peace lies in the scriptures. While society's getting more chaotic, we get more peaceful. Because we know our salvation is nigh, man. But when you take that thought of hope away from people, now people are no longer going to be stable, and that instability is going to manifest itself in mass protests and riots from the people. So the more and more unstable society gets, the more and more obvious the injustice that's abounding, especially when they start really, really locking everything down, man, and closing all the breaches, man. No grocery store without the poke. No going to fill your gas with no poke. No going to the mall or go to the movie or going to a sports event, which they already doing that, you know. But once they really um in access to necessities, because some of the things I mentioned are like luxuries and entertainment, but the necessities, you know, food, shelter, you know, things of that nature, access to transportation, you know, once they end that right there, unless you are willing to submit yourself to the Pope, that's when that real, you know, injustice, unequalness is going, or iniquity is going to really show itself to the forefront. And people are going to wax colder and colder and colder because of that, man. That's when you're really going to start seeing people just so, you know, I don't give a fuck no more. If I'm going to go out, you know, and if I die in the process, fuck it, I just do. That's when you're really going to see that shit, man. That's when you're really going to see people not regarding their kings or princes. Because then they monster, they're going to say, you know what, you played me. You manipulated me. I thought you had my back. That's why the scriptures say never trust your enemy. But continuing on, it says, but European leaders may feel they have little choice despite the spread of popes there that were seen a year ago as fail-proof way out of the pandemic. Austria, where 66% of the population is fully poked, more than 14,000 new cases of the V within 24 hours on Monday. You see how they can just make up anything, man? See how they can just bring all these astronomical numbers, these numbers that seem large in the mindset of anyone, man, just the average person. The numbers seem large, you know. It's in reality, it's a small percentage. Even if the numbers were true, in reality, it's still a small percentage of the population. But the numbers just they throw out large numbers. You know what I'm saying? 14,000 is a big. They just throw numbers out like that, you know, within a small window of time to show to show like the alleged severity of it, you know, to basically give the poked population to say, you know what, we have to do this because everyone doesn't want to be like you. We have to do this because everyone doesn't want to get down with it. So don't blame us. Blame the unpoked. Don't blame us. Blame the people who don't want this to end. Because they basically, like it says, seen a year ago, the poke a fail-proof way out of the demic, man. It's been casted as nothing else works. Nothing else is a foolproof solution except the Pope. That's what they've been doing the whole time. That's the propaganda they've been moving with the whole time. You know? So when they bring in all these harsh measures and draconian measures, these new world order protocols, they're telling the Pope population, don't blame us, blame your fellow peers who don't want to get poked. Which just fuels even more anger and spirit of riot, man. Because now you're gonna have you already angering the unpoked people. They already gonna start rioting because you know they see the writing on the wall. You know, they saying I ain't getting that shit. I mean, I'd rather die before getting that shit. You know, and the more and more iniquity come into effect, more and more injustice come into effect. That anger spirit that it's just boiling over more and more and more. And the unpoked, especially a lot of people who are quote unquote patriotic, man. That spirit just boiling over more and more and more. But on the other hand, you got the poked people who they getting upset. They're like, y'all stopping us from being able to live, man. It's not their fault. That's the thing. Like, I'm sure you've heard this phrase before. You know, I've heard this phrase from people that I know personally, where they say, I try to talk them into some sense about what's going on in the world and the poke and the you know, and everything that's coming or it's a byproduct of it. Just a basic rundown of it. Try to talk to people about it. They say, oh, well, you know, they actually have our best interests at heart. They came out with this so quickly. You know, they really on the ball with this, man. It's like people like that you can't help. Because in their mindset, they don't know who their enemy is. They think that their enemy, especially these quote unquote Christians, they think their enemy is some man in hell with a horn of some red man with devil horns in hell, you know, who's coming to get you. That's what they think their enemy is, man. When you don't recognize your enemy, you know, you don't know where the manipulation lies, man. You don't know where on the fleshly realm. You don't know where the manipulation, is coming from. You can't sniff it out. You can't sniff it out. You can't see the lies in there because you think that God has set these people to be some sort of saving grace, some sort of stabilization of the plague that, that the devil brought in. All that bullshit, man. You hear this shit from people. That's why it's so important to know who your enemy is. Not so that you can go out and riot and raise all hell and whatnot. No, not for that reason, but so that you can, recognize where the manipulation lies, the fear tactics, counter that with the wisdom of the scriptures, to see which way you should go in and which way you should not go in. What's the way and what's the opposite way? So when you see them, all these cases, these quote unquote cases spiking and surging and whatnot, in your mind, because the scriptures say never trust your enemy. The scriptures say go about speaking lies as soon as they're born. The scriptures say that the devil's out here to deceive the earth. The devil in the physical realm being Esau, to deceive the earth. We already know that because the scriptures say that. So when we see certain things like 20,000 cases in the last 24 hours, we know it's bullshit, man. We know it's bullshit. And we know it's just a means to an end. When we understand the end goal, that being getting everyone karagmud, then we see all this it's just a means to an end. It's just steps into that direction. It's just steps to program the people to willingly submit to that when they ready to implement that, man. That's all this is. Double the number, triple the number, 20,000, 25,000. All these hyperbolized or hyperbolized numbers and statements. All these hyperbolized, measures and statements and numbers and cases they throwing out there, man. And also when we actually watch the news and the way in which they say it to their facial expressions and all that, it's just a means to an end. It means to an end in multiple ways to get people to actually submit to it, and also to rise up that spirit of anger in the people to get people to riot, protest, and assist in the destruction of society. Just assist in breaking and tearing this shit down, man. That way they can rebuild it the way they want to rebuild it. Get people out of there. We know the Georgia Guidestones. They want 5 million people or under. I'm not 5 million. 500 million. 500 million people are under. They want 500 million people are under. They want a complete economic makeover, a complete societal makeover, a complete spiritual makeover. That's the big one. Complete spiritual makeover. In order to get all those things to effect, you got to tear down what's existing. You got to tear down what's currently in place. That way you can rebuild it the way you want to rebuild it. So trying to get people through these riots and protests, through these certain iniquities they bring into effect, which we, go into that what iniquities, injustices, these unfairness, unequalness, man, these draconian measures, these new world order protocols. Doing this right here is going to get people to assist in tearing down society and tearing down all the things that props society up, man. And that's the plan right there. Well, that's one of the plans. They got plenty of different plans. It said, I already went into the 10 days and whatnot. It said, okay, I want to get this point right here. It says the opposition to the lockdown and the jab or the poke mandates is being fueled in part by the far right Freedom Party. Hey man, the right versus the left. We just keep seeing that theme, man. The right versus the left. To bring forth the solution, which has used its platform in the Austrian Parliament to spread doubt about the effectiveness of pokes and to promote ivermectin, a drug typically used to treat parasitic worms that has repeatedly failed against the CV in clinical trials. I mean, of course, that's not true. Of course, in their own clinical trials, they're going to have a drug, that counters the poke or that rivals the poke in effectiveness. Of course, they're going to use that drug right there as, especially that's the main one that is promoted, worldwide as a equitable, rival to the poke. If of course they're going to say that failed in clinical trials. Of course, man. Of course they're going to say that. Why would they tell you the truth when their goal is to get you to get poked? But see, when you think their goal is public health and safety, you'll read this as it is. You'll read this, okay, that's not working because they're saying that the poke is actually better, so let me go get that. But then they're going to say that the Karagma is actually better. They're going to say the Karagma is better than the poke and the boosters. They're going to say the Karagma in your right hand is a better solution than the boosters. And what you going to do then? You're going to go get that shit. They're going to say, oh, it's a better alternative, man. It can track your temperature. It can track who you're around. It can warn you if you're around people that are sick. All that bullshit, man. It's way more effective than just a general poke. And you see what they've done as well? They've already planted that the poke is not foolproof effective so that they can promote. So when they're ready to do it, like worldwide spread, they've already, promoted the poke as being not foolproof solution, not being a foolproof solution. That way, when they promote the Karagma, they already got it into effect, saying this is not 100% effect, like 100% get you like 100%. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it's not like 100% success rate. It's not 100% effective. You can still get sick from it. That way, when they promote the Karagma, they can already say this is more effective because they can say, oh, this is way more effective. This is 100% effective. By already pushing the propaganda, putting it into the atmosphere that the poke is not 100% effective, they can now say the new solution is more effective. See how that works? And in your mindset, when you think in your mind, they're just doing things for my health and safety, you're gonna go do whatever they say is a better solution for you. And that's gonna be your ass, man. That's gonna be your soul. And you done. No coming back from that, man. Revelation 14, 9 and 10, Revelation 16 and verse 1. You done after that, man. Matter of fact, let's get them, man. Let's get them, man. Let's go ahead and get them, man. Fuck it. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, which is righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So if you take that shit, man, you done. You done. Ain't no coming back from that, man. You can get all out destruction, hell, chaos, fire and brimstone, plagues, swords. Let's go to Revelation 16. Revelation 16 and 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the MOB, and upon them which worship the image. Showing you that worshiping the image is tied in you taking the MOB. And what is worshiping the image? You know, what is worshiping the image, man? You know, so lining yourself up spiritually with this society, lining yourself up spiritually with this society from a societal perspective and from a spiritual perspective with the pagan gods that you don't even know that you venerate, man. Like I said earlier, if it's not all or nothing, if it's not all for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, it's all against him. It's not no in between. It's not no I'm sometimes with the Most High, I'm sometimes with motherfucking Pan, man. I'm sometimes with the Most High, I'm sometimes with the world. Because if you with the world, you with the goat God, man. It is what it is. There's no getting around that. You know? So if you worship the image, meaning what you align yourself spiritually with this place, you align yourself societally with this place, which means what? You're gonna eventually align yourself up spiritually with it, especially when that man in sin is fully revealed and it's shown that you got to accept certain things to even operate in society, certain tenets, certain lifestyle choices, you know, to even operate in this society, you know. Which at that point in time, the MOB is probably gonna be in effect, or probably at least it's gonna be on the scene in a large scale, which means you're gonna take that too, showing that those two go hand in hand. You know, but great destruction and judgment is coming upon because of that, man. Now I don't know exactly how that's gonna look, that grievous sore, but we all know the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Shit, I don't want to know how it's like, man. I don't want to know how that's gonna be. I don't want to know at all, bro. Shit, man, I don't want to know that. I'm sure you brothers don't as well. But if you don't separate yourself, you are gonna know how that is, man. And the reason I'm saying that is because separating yourself is being completely out the matrix, man. Completely out the matrix. You know, it's not enough to just be against the Pope. You got to be completely outside this society to the point where you understand and you know what it's leading towards. You understand and you know that the reactions that the people are giving, these protests and these riots, these people, you know, are doing right now. You know, you understand and you know that these riots, people going crazy, blowing shit up. That's a lot of that is a staged reaction. They already know what the reaction of the people's gonna be, but also too, you got crisis actors in there. You know, you got Manchurian candidates. You know, who are doing this shit. You know, who are spearheading this shit, man. They bring out a Manchurian candidate. They bring out a crisis actor. You know, to start the shit, and then you know, most people are monkey see, monkey do, man. Most people don't have the courage to actually go do something. So they see someone else doing it, then they follow. So they bring out a Manchurian candidate. They bring out a crisis actor to go be the spearhead, to be the start of lighting a car on fire, or lighting a building on fire, or shooting a police officer or whatnot. Then everyone else follows, man. That's being completely out the matrix. You understand? It's all a game, man. It's all a stage. You know, it's all a stage. You know, shit like this ain't gonna do shit. No, but people are gonna do it though. And I'm not gonna say it's not gonna do shit, because it is fulfilling prophecy. You know, it's fulfilling prophecy, and in terms of what they wanted to do, but I already went down all that too. I'm not gonna go into that. You know, I already went down what they want to come out of these protests and riots. But you know, we see, you know, all this shit, man. You know, this is what's going down in Austria. This is what's going down in the Netherlands, man. You know, so it's not out of the realm of possibility it's gonna come to Babylon soon in 2022. Shit, maybe into 2021. You never know. Like I said to start out the stream, we understand and we know something big is coming, man. Something big. We can just feel it in the air, man. Something big is coming. You know, but with that like mind that Babylon has with the EU being the 10 horns, you know, we know that the same the same stage and organized reactions that's going on out there is going to happen here as well. Whether they be sincere, or whether they be quote unquote sincere, or whether they be, the staging might start it out, and then the sincere people will follow after the stage people. Shit like that can really pop off soon. Before I continue, though, I want to say shalom to the brothers that came through. Shalom, Jerome French. Say shalom. Shalom, bro. The water for coming through. Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Barakatah to you. Much love for all you brothers that come to these live streams. Support, leave comments, leave precepts. I really appreciate the support, brothers. Shalom to my bro, Mr. Sanjan. Solid brother right here. Real solid brother. Says shalom, brother. He says Psalms 118, 8-9. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that, honestly, that's a perfect precept to sum up everything I've been saying, man. Within like the past 30 minutes. That's a perfect precept to sum that up. Because when you trust in the Lord, you're able to look at this. You're able to look at what's going on in society from a higher lens. You're able to look at what's going on in society from a outside the world, outside the matrix lens, man. From a bird's eye view. You're not involved in it. You're looking at it from a bird's eye view, man. You're on top of it. You're operating above it, but you're still in it, man. You're in it fleshly, but you're operating above it spiritually. When you trust in the Lord, when you don't have no trust in men, no trust in princes, you understand what they're about, man. You understand what they're about. You understand their parameters, their propaganda, their lies, their programming. The staged events that they bring into effect. You understand all that shit, man. You don't get down with none of that. You know what it is. You're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Let's go to 2 Corinthians, man. I think that's 2:11. Yep, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So who is Satan, man? In the flesh, it's Esau, man. That's Esau. The reigning powers of this society, man. The ruling powers, the ruling elites, man. The Zionists. Starting with they top nation, that being Amalek. These Zionists, man. That's Satan. Those are the princes. They're the kings and princes of this. They're the modern day kings and princes of this society. But when you trust in the Lord more than them, you're not fazed by none of this shit, man. You can see right through it because you operate above it spiritually. But when you do trust in them and you do place hope in them and their society, you place hope in not just them, but when you place hope in their society, you are placing hope in them because you're placing hope in the person that runs the society. When you place hope in that and they fail you, and it's shown eventually that you was getting played the whole time, and that all this shit was just all the back and forth, all the propaganda, all the elections and the debates and the meetings they do, all that was just they're all on the same page. It's just they're showing you that there's some division. They're showing you that there's that you got the quote unquote right wing and the left wing, but they all on the same team. When that's fully shown in society, when that man of sin is fully revealed, people are gonna be upset, man. That's gonna cause even more riots. That's more iniquity, man. We went into that word iniquity. I'm gonna just read that again. It says wickedness, unevenness, injustice, unfairness, maliciousness. When more maliciousness is shown, more injustice, more unfairness, not being transparent, lack of transparency, when that's shown, that's how these people operate the whole time, and they just been playing your ass. When that's shown, that's gonna cause more people waxing cold, man. Because the person they placed hope in has failed them. It's just like when you're a fan of someone, man. When you're a fan of someone and they do something you don't like, people turn into a hater, man. A big fan turns into a big hater when you do something they don't like. And a lot of people in this society are big fans of the ruling elite. They don't even know that though. They big fans of the ruling elite. You know, that's the princes. That's why it's way better to trust in the Lord. Because when you trust in the Lord, like I said, you're able to operate above that. You know, the scriptures give you the guide. You know, the scriptures give you the instructions and how to operate above that. How to know what the end game is of these ruling elite. You know, so you're not caught up in that bullshit. So it's the water for that precept, bro. But let's go to hey, that's spiritual too. That precept 144, man. Hey, that's spiritual, man. Hey, the 144,000 gonna be the ones that trust in the Lord and not kings and princes, man. You know, that's gonna be the 144,000 right there. You know, so hey, Lord will, all of us brothers, myself and you brothers on the panel, you know, you brothers in the comment board, Lord will, we all part of that number, man. But I want to round out with this right here to show how they already bringing propaganda to effect, you know, to bring this what's going on in Europe to Babylon as well. So we're gonna round out with this point right here. So it says, fully poked family members can celebrate the holidays without mask, Fauci says. It says, if you and your family members are fully poked against VOL.5, it's okay for you to ditch the mask this holiday season when you're around each other, Dr. Anthony Fauci told CNN Sunday. That's what I'm going to do with my family. Fauci, the director of whatever, with all that bullshit. However, the nation's top infectious disease expert also noted if you are traveling and are unaware of the poke status of the people around you, then you should wear a mask in those situations. So we're seeing right now that Fauci, and because a lot of people trust this man, a lot of people believe every single fucking word that this man says, every single fucking word. You know, I was talking to a Jake probably about 6 months ago, and they were talking about we were talking about the poke and whatnot, and they was telling me, I'll get it if Fauci gets it. I'll get it when Fauci says it's okay to get it. A lot of people trust everything this fucking man says, you know. But let's go to Sirach, the 13th chapter, because in this society, this man is propped up to be a rich man. You know, he's propped up to be a rich man in this society through his actual, you know, so-called wealth and his status. That's the thing about rich. It's not just about how much money you got. It's about your status. Status is more important than money, because you could be someone that's wealthy, but no one knows who you are. You don't have that stamp of approval from the powers that be, from the ruling elite. No one gives a fuck what you got to say. You know, even take it from a richer knowledge perspective. All of us brothers in this truth, myself, you know, you brothers on the panel, you know, you brothers that be making videos, you know, we're rich in knowledge through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We don't have no status. We don't have that stamp of approval from the ruling elite. So the masses of people don't give a fuck about what we got to say. You know? But when you have that stamp of approval, now people, okay, let me see what he's got to say. He's been co-signed by the ruling elite. He must, especially because these people don't know that the ruling elite are your enemies. They think they're here to make society better and bring in effects or programs to end world hunger, all that, and, you know, feed the homeless and the poor, all that bullshit, man. You know? So he's a rich man in terms of his, you know, not just his bread, but his status. It says Sirach chapter 13. And I'm gonna get the point. Sirach 13-23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. Meaning what? They extol it to the clouds, meaning what? They take it very seriously. You know? They think that it comes from a high place. They think it comes from a place of mass intelligence. You know? They think it comes from a place of being some divine understanding and knowledge. Verse continuing on, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. So, when a rich man speak, people actually want to hear what he's got to say. But when a poor man speak, when us brothers, when we speak, don't know when we speak, we actually speaking the truth. Niggas don't care, man. But when Fauci says something, when Biden says something, who are the faces of the ruling elite? Now they're not the ruling elite, but they're the faces of the ruling elite. When they say something, people want to hear what they got to say. When these prime ministers and these of these other countries and whatnot, when they say something, people want to hear what they got to say. And they extol that to the clouds, man. They take it very seriously. They think it's coming from a place of divine protection and understanding and knowledge. And it says, with a poor man, when he stumbled, they will help to overthrow him. Meaning what? When society paints us as the bad guys, when society, which they're doing right now, the unpoked, because the elect, I'm not saying that every member of the elect is not going. I'm not saying that there aren't going to be some members of the elect that have taken the poke. I ain't saying that. I mean, I don't know that, but it's not the MOB, so I'm not going to sit here and say that. But from a general perspective, if you haven't taken the poke, that means you're able to see. You have eyes to see and ears to hear, which means you're on the right path to being the elect. So when we're castigated, when we're made to be seen as the enemies, especially us Israelites, when all hell really breaks loose, and we're seen as the problem for why society is no longer functioning, and for why they got to bring in all these. Or for why they got to bring in hyperinflation, for why they got to bring in things that are going to tank the economy. We're seen as the enemy for that, and we're seen as the cause of that, which we're not really the cause, but because we all know that it's all staged and it's all planned. The hyperinflation, the collapse of the economy, the housing bubble popping, all that. We all know that that's all staged and programmed, man. The shortages, the lapses at the supply chain. We all know that's all staged, man. All of it. Every last bit of it. But we're going to be casted as the solution, though, because all goes back to who didn't want to take the poke. And the main ones, what they've been saying the whole time, the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have been the ones which that kills that whole Black only shit, but that's a whole other story for another day. The Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the ones who are refusing to take the poke at the highest rate, and then the ones who are getting the V at the highest rate. They've been saying that the whole time, man. So that's us being caused to stumble, man. And when I say stumble, I don't mean us actually falling. I mean us being seen as very, very low in the eyes of the rich man. The rich man plotting and bringing in certain propaganda to cause us to seem like to make it seem like we're the problem. But it says when going into the poor man, they will help to overthrow him. Meaning what? Majority of people in this society, what they gonna get along with that, man. They gonna get right along with that, and they gonna say, you know what? Yeah, them people, they the issue, man. It's not you. The ruling elite, they're not the issue. They're the one that's trying to help us, man. You're the one that's trying to stop them from helping us. That's what people are going to say. This goes to show how dumb people are, man. How fucking stupid people are. And you know what? And actually, it's kind of sad because it shows how programmed people are, man. How much under mind control people are. But going back into the point, when the rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. So when Fauci says it's okay for you to go to Thanksgiving and Christmas, if you fully poked, that's what people are gonna go do, man. Last year, just with my personal family, man. Last year, my family. Now I don't celebrate none of these holidays. I'm just saying, but they do and whatnot. Last year, my family, they didn't all get together because in my family, everyone always gets together at one centralized location. I got a big ass family. We all get to back when I used to celebrate holidays, we all got together at one place, and they still do get together at one person's house, We y'all ate, did the whole thing, watch football, all the shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with eating a Thanksgiving dinner. I ain't saying that. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Because I might actually do a video on that. But that's a whole nother conversation in regards to breaking that down. But from a spiritual perspective, and from a balanced spiritual perspective, that's a whole nother conversation. It's not okay to celebrate holidays, but I'm not saying there's anything wrong with eating a Thanksgiving dinner. But like I said, that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, going back into it. My bad for rambling. Like I said, they do the whole Thanksgiving thing. Last year, they didn't do it. Why is that? Because Fauci said not to do it. This year, they're doing it. Why is that? Because most of them done got the jab. In fact, damn near all of them done got the jab. And Fauci said it's okay this year. They just go along whatever the rich man says. Whatever the rich man say to do, that's what unfortunately, the majority of niggas do. They have no independent thought of their own. They don't acknowledge the Most High in their thoughts. Showing what? They really view Esau as their God, man. And they don't even realize it. Meaning what? They really view these pagan entities as their gods, man. Because that's the gods of Esau. The God structure that Esau has, the father God, the mother goddess, and the divine child. Unfortunately, for most niggas, that's their God structure as well. They just don't even know it, man. Because they're doing whatever that person says to do. And why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because this is the direct obedience, of them. It's how they gonna get a lot of people to eventually submit when things just completely shut down. Because right now, basically, if you ain't got the shit, you ain't gonna get it, man. People are pretty much chosen their side right now. Now you all gonna have more people go along with it when they start to really bring in these harsh mandates, like they do in Austria, things of that nature. On February 1st, Austria has these nationwide mandates. I don't know when that's gonna come into effect. Who knows? But once they do, that's when you're gonna get a lot of the people as well. But right now, when you still got options to move and shake in society, people are pretty much chosen their side. People chosen their side already. So now they're trying to attack things that you like to do, your Thanksgiving dinners, something they took away from you last year. They took away that from you last year, and now they're saying it's okay for you to do it as long as you do this. And I want to get into this article right here to show why I say that. This is going into Trump administration Surgeon General predicts winter surge in C19. This is because a lot of people have this mindset, and they'll go along with exactly what this person, Jerome Adams, says to do. He said, and this is going into the winter surge, and I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later, but I want to touch right now specifically on his quote unquote preventative measures within his home. So we understand now. I told you it's okay to celebrate your holidays now. So what are the parameters a lot of people are going to take now? Because they're still going to approach it with precaution. It says, I'm using home testing. I was able to go. This is Jerome Adams, the senior advisor or some bullshit. I'm using home testing. I was able to go around and get several home tests. And the people who are coming to my house, they're going to be poked and boosted. They're going to be poked and boosted, man. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. It's not even about the poke and the boost, though. It's about the obedience and the submission to what they deem to be the solution for the problem, which eventually is going to be the Charagma. Eventually, I don't know when that's going to come into effect. It looks like it's going to be sooner rather than later, though. But eventually, it's going to be the Charagma. And it says, and if they're not, then I'm going to give them a rapid test to take before they come in and make sure we're doing everything we can do to be able to gather safely. So the idea of gathering safely It's whatever they say gathering safely is. Going back to second Ezra, going back to Sirach 13, when a rich man speak. People extol it, man. People view that as gospel. But if you got faith, like this is a quote unquote Christian country, bro. If you got faith, why the fuck you concerned about what a man says is safe? You supposed to believe in God and Jesus, right? Jesus is supposed to be your God, right? You're supposed to have faith. You're supposed to be man of God. Joe Biden's a Catholic. This is a God-fearing country. All that bullshit, man. People ain't got no faith. Faith is tested. When you actually have to go out on a limb and prove it. If you go to get a pseudo solution, you failed that test of faith. And because of that lack of faith, that's going to cause you to go into the direction of destruction. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. Salaki, I gotta take this real quick. Salakia, had to take that real quick. But let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. The let's see. It's the 14th. No, it's the 17th chapter. It's Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 12. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth, and the expectation from within being less, counted the ignorance more than the cause, which bringeth torment. Let's go into that word succors. Let's go into that word and show what that means. Because that's what succors, I'm gonna go into what it actually says, but just giving a general frame of idea around it. Succors is basically like that's like the proof of faith. That's the proof of faith. Because succors goes into help, aid, assistance. That's the proof of faith. The proof of faith is getting divine help, a divine assistance, from Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Allowing the Most High to move and shake in your life. That's what the succors is, man. It says which reason offers. So fear is a betraying of that. So what is fear? If succors is the help and the aid, which is the proof of faith, then but if that's what succors is, then fear is betraying of faith. It's the betraying of faith, man. So when you have this mindset right here, when you got this mindset right here of, when you got this mindset up here of, I'm using home testing and everyone that come in my crib gonna be poked and boosted, that shows no faith. But you know what? Because the rich man is saying to do that, a lot of people just gonna automatically jump to that. Okay, that's the solution. That's what I need to do. If I want to celebrate my holidays, this is what I need to do. We can't get together unless you're being poked. We can't get together. I gotta wear a mask when I'm around everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just living in so much fear, man. That's gonna cause that, and that lack of faith, which we just read right here. That's what it is. Lack of faith. Wisdom of Solomon 17:12. That lack of faith is going to cause you to destroy your own soul because the fear, because the fear is coming from whatever the rich man tells you to do. So once the rich man tells you to go take the charagma, because you got so much fear in him, you got so much fear, he's been instilling so much propaganda of fear on you because of what he said is in the air. You're gonna get the solution that he told you, that he's telling you to get. You know, if you pattern your ways and your actions after what the rich man says, what's gonna stop when the charagma comes into place? You just all of a sudden gonna flip the switch. You all of a sudden just gonna change your mind. It don't work that way. It don't work that way at all. You all of a sudden just gonna, flip the switch and change your mind and okay, well, I was willing to do this, but I'm not willing to do that. Nah, man, it don't work that way. If you're willing to do one thing, you're gonna be willing to do the next thing. Especially once times get harder. Especially once things get less accessible, man. Things get more restrictive. But continuing on, it says, actually, that's all I wanted to give at that point. Shit, my mouth dry. Pause. Just want to get anything else in this article. Nah. Oh yeah. I did want to get this point right here. Now it's talking about oral antivirals, man. It's going into that dark winter coming to Babylon, man. What's going on out there in Europe? It's just gonna come to Babylon. It's gonna be, more shit added. There's gonna be more wrinkles and more stuff thrown in the pot, man. So I'm really excited about the oral antivirals. But here's the caveats. Number one, the antivirals are worthless if you don't have testing. Adam said, adding that if you can't get tested, then you can't get treated. So that this article is basically going into the certain tests and whatnot. Having access to test on the ready. Test on the go vid testing, which that's just predictive programming and propaganda for the charagma. Because like I said earlier, in that 60 minutes clip, they were showing that through you having the charagma, you're basically gonna be able to test yourself on the go. You're gonna be able to test to see if you fit the parameter for someone that could possibly be contracting the whatever variant of the virus is out at that time period. So it's all about a means to an end. With them, man. That's why it says, number 2, we would much rather prevent disease. The charagma is going to be shown as this is going to prevent disease, a medical miracle. Let's go back to Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 14. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. The charagma is going to be seen as a medical miracle to what? Prevent disease. Let's get this. It says, I'd rather prevent you from getting cancer than treat your cancer. They already showed how the charagma is going to be able to track and test you on the go to make sure test your vitals, your temperature, all that, to see if you're in the proximity of getting the vid, man. To see if your body is in and your vitals and your temperature and whatnot is in range for possibly contracting the vid. Basically prevent it before it comes. That's that, and people, wow, look at this is exciting, man. That's it's gonna be a quote unquote medical miracle. That's how they're gonna package it. A lot of people gonna fall for that shit. So yeah, it's gonna be a dark winter coming to Babylon too, man. With this quote unquote winter surge and things of that nature. I want to get this article rounded out too. It says, The Delta variant of VID-19 is not done with the U.S. Nearly all the nation's VID infections are now attributed to the highly contagious variant. So why is it that they bringing out this Delta, you know, right now? I ain't heard about the Delta in months. You know, even especially as someone who keeps track of this shit. I ain't heard about the Delta being popping off in months. Niggas ain't talking about the Delta no more. But now the Delta's rearing its ugly head again. All right, just around the time where it's cold, people get sick. Now it's all gonna be attributed to the Delta. Now it's like, you know what? Now it's time to boost that booster prop. You know, no pun intended. You know, now it's trying to bring in that booster propaganda. You know, that's why I said, well, let's continue on. It says nearly all the nations. I already read that. And as the winter months mean more people will be gathering indoors, the nation is attempting to prepare for a possible winter surge that may be already underway in some regions. So that's going into that dark winter, man. A winter surge, using the certain parameters are already set in place during the winter time. People indoors, people gathering together, people, you know, quote unquote, what do they call this shit? Cuffing season, you know, which that's a quiet is kept too. I can get a lot of niggas to take that poke, man, and to take them boosters, man. If a bitch tell you for a lot of these, you know, lame ass, no rulership mentality ass, just lame simp dudes out here, you know, no backbone, no spinal bone at all, man. You know, just do everything, you know, for a bitch. You know, they gonna be saying, hey, to get with me, I need to see your card, your jab card, man. Are you boosted? That's gonna be the new slang. You boosted? Don't be surprised if a rapper come up with a song, boosted. You know what I'm saying? The song gonna be called Boosted. It's gonna basically be a plea, you know, for the booster, man. He's always gonna be saying, hey, you boosted? You gotta be boosted to fuck with me. Niggas like, man, I really want that, bro. She bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whole fine, all that, man. And niggas gonna take that shit. Unfortunately, you know, they're already telling you that they're already saying if you don't get it, you can get erectile dysfunction. You know, all that bullshit, man. In fact, getting that shit may cause you erectile dysfunction. Getting the boosters and the vid, I mean, in the poke, could probably give you erectile dysfunction, man. Not taking it. But anyway, getting back into it. So that winter surge. I want to get this point right here. A point I hit on a little bit earlier, but I want to touch on it deeper. It says waning immunity may be contributing to a rise in cases. Waning immunity, meaning what? Your poke that you took previously, that shit not effective enough. That shit didn't work. That shit dying off. You know? That shit don't hold no weight no more. We got a better one for you. And when you actually go into some real research on these pokes, basically what's going down is the first poke that you take has more saline in it, so it's not as many of your white blood cells getting pushed out for that mRNA. But the boosters have less saline in it, so just more. It's less saline and all toxins and chemicals. It's pushing out your white blood cells, replacing with that mRNA. So now when these actual real plagues come down from Yahweh, you can't fight shit, man. Your body not gonna be able to fight shit. They turning you into a walking fucking potato chip, man. You know? Walking fucking potato chip. You know? Just with all this, with just more and more propaganda. It says, as much as past since millions of Americans were first poked in the past surges of the V, led others to have some protection via natural infection immunity. The nation's ongoing booster rollout is attempting to head off the effects of waning immunity. You know, so that's going into that dark winter, man. Because a lot of people are gonna be like, you know, I already got one. I ain't trying to get this shit again, man. I did what you told me to do one time. Now leave me alone. That's what people are gonna start saying. And that's going to cause more uneasiness, more tensions being raised, you know, riots, all that, man. I don't know when they're going to say it's mandatory. in Babylon in terms of it being a nationwide mandate? We'll see. But part of that dark winter, it definitely could come, especially if they start spiking. They start ramping the propaganda more and more and more. Like, oh, cases are going into the thousands and the hundreds of thousands a day and all that shit, man. But we see kind of a rehash of late 2019. It's a late rehash of late 2019, except now, in order to have, like I said earlier, that time it was the mask. This time it's the not just the poke, but the booster as well. If it's eventually it's gonna be, if you don't got the booster, no operating in society for you. You know, all your quote unquote freedoms gone. It says Delta and waning immunity. So it's not just the variant itself, but also the your poke that you got earlier not protecting you from this harsher variant, from this this rising harsher, more potent variant. Everything that they were saying 4 to 6 months ago is coming into effect right now, showing what they bring things into effect for a later for something down the line, man. They bring something into effect. They put some out in the atmosphere, for not for the present moment, but for down the line. You know what I'm saying? This is the book of Psalm, the 55th chapter, and the 21st verse. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So the words are softer. The words are they sound smooth, man. This is for your protection. This is for your safety. This is gonna be it. We just have to do this one time. And if they packaged the poke as being some great invention and great solution to this alleged virus that was taking out people by the millions, all that bullshit, man. That's how they packaged it as. Now they're telling you this has no more effect, man. Now they're telling you it's no longer potent anymore. Showing what war was in his heart. Yeah, them smooth words. Yeah, this is the solution. We got it out for you quick. This is the solution. Everyone should take this. This is gonna bring us back to normal. And now they're telling you that the same thing they told you was going to bring society back to normal no longer has effect anymore, man. It no longer is good for you. It no longer holds the same potency. That's what they're telling you now. That's what they're telling you now. So we can see, we can see that pretty much that's we can see. I was looking at something. We can see, pretty much, where it says, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, but yet were they drawn swords. Meaning what? The softness of the words, the how he framed the words, how he framed the poke to look as an end all be all solution. It really has swords behind it, man. He was gonna give you this solution, but he was gonna stab you in your back at the same time, which is the stabbing in the back is coming right now with the quote unquote waning immunity. So we see how they roll, man. That's why that's the importance of knowing who your enemy is. That's the importance of knowing who your enemy is. It says no state has achieved a high enough poke rate, even when combined with infection-induced immunity, to avoid the type of outbreaks happening now, Makdad said. So it's a dark winter looming on Babylon, man. A dark, dark winter. So should we expect to see a nationwide mandate like in Austria and other parts of Europe that's coming to? Should we expect to see let me get this right here. This article was going into the lockdowns for the unpoked people. But should we start to see unpoked lockdowns coming soon in Babylon the Great? Hey, man, it's definitely a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. You know what? This was a great live stream. The water for you brothers that came through and listen. With that, I want to give before I end, this is the signs. This is the times we're living in, man. These are the signs that our Lord told us to watch for, man. Matter of fact, let's just round it out real quick with that, man. Let's go to Matthew 24th chapter and Matthew 24 and I'm gonna go to verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So this is going into what is going to be the signs of the end of the world, man. Let's go to verse 4. And Yahweh shall answer and said unto him, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many, or I am the Messiah, I am the Savior, and shall deceive many. What is Esau Edom doing right now, man? He's casting himself as the Savior. He's casting him. Let's go to Second Thessalonians real quick, man. Let's go. Let's just get it, man. Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed. So the mystery of iniquity, the mystery of maliciousness, the mystery of unfairness, unjustness, wickedness, you know what I'm saying? Deception, that's working right now. It's being fully revealed what the true intention and initiative of this man is, man. He's a man of sin. But he's casting himself as the saving figure, man, as the one who got the solution, as the one with the answers, the man with the plan. And he's saying, I'm the savior. I know what's best for you. I'm your Messiah. That's what he's saying to the masses. But it says, and shall deceive many. He's deceiving people right now. He's setting them up for destruction. Because he's not telling them the whole story. He's telling you that you got to get the boosters. He's telling you, you need to get this, you need to do this, but he's not telling you what's coming after that, man. He's not telling you that. He even telling you about the charagma, man, but he's not telling you what's really gonna come from that, man. The control that you're gonna give yourself over to, man. How that's gonna be able to control your mind, body, soul, and spirit, man. They're gonna be able to turn your chip on and off. He ain't telling you that. He ain't telling you that right there, man. He ain't telling you that all these riots are orchestrated and planned and staged, and really the spearhead of these riots really be a damn crisis actor. He ain't telling you that he's basically putting these mandates, these lockdowns into effect to rile up that spirit in people, so that the people can assist in destroying their own society, man. He ain't telling you that. So he's saying he's casting himself as the savior, but he ain't telling you the whole story. See, what Yahweh Shah, we get the whole story. With our real savior, we get the whole story. With our real Messiah, we get the whole story. We get the truth and nothing but the truth. No fillers, no agendas, no hidden agendas down the line. But with Esau Edom, you get hidden agendas, man. Let's go to the book of Psalm real quick. What's that song? think it's like Psalm 52. My fault. Yeah, so it's Psalm 64. Psalm 64 and and verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who is Esau, who, well, in this modern time, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows. Well, from a societal perspective, that's Esau, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, which is the unrighteous agendas, man. That's what that is. So, like I said, with Yahweh Shah, our real Savior, our real Christ, our real anointed, we get the truth and nothing but the truth. You know, we get no fillers. We know exactly what it is. You know, we know exactly what the game, what the signs to look for, and nothing, to smite us, to get over on us, to get us to fall, to get us to turn our back on our Creator, being the Most High Yahweh. There's nothing like that, man. But with Esau, Edom, what you get, says in verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of lying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They say, who shall see them, man? That's what you get with them. With them, you get, who gonna stop me? Excuse me. With them, you get, secret discussions of how to actually topple you, but trying to, give you pseudo solutions in the present time to make it seem like we got your best interest at heart. That's what you get. That's what you get with Esau, Edom. So going back into Matthew 24, where it says, the words of Yahweh Shah said, take heed that no man deceive you, basically going to the signs of the end. He said, many shall come in my name saying, I am Christ. So many are going to say that they're the Savior, man. Esau, Edom trying to say he the Savior. Trying to say he the Savior. But it's through deception, though. Because behind closed doors, they commune in lying how to snare us, man. How to topple us, how to overcome us. But they're telling you, via they puppets, the ruling elite are they're the ones who are doing these, and then they tell their puppets portray the message that they actually here for our best interests. That's a false Christ, that's a false Savior. And that's going to be shown more and more and more as they get revealed, man. That prophecy has to, the wicked gets revealed. It's going to be shown more and more and more when they finally revealed, man. So with that, that's really the only one I wanted to get into in terms of the end time sign, with that chapter right there specifically. But with that, as I said, the water for you, all you brothers that came through. Hey man, we in the last days, and this shit is only gonna get more and more rampant from here. So with that, I want to give all the praises, the glory, and the honor unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakodash. Lord, what this live stream was edifying for the hopeful elect in the nation of Israel and nation of Israel only. Shalom, keep the faith.